Every nice guy believes he's doing the right thing. He listens. He remembers the little things. He apologizes first. He gives second chances. He answers every message. He makes himself available whenever she's lonely. He tries to become the man every woman says she wants. And somehow, he still ends up being ignored. If you've ever wondered why this happens, it's probably because you've been asking the wrong question. Most men ask, why don't women like nice guys? But that's not the truth. Kindness has never been unattractive. Compassion has never been unattractive. Respect has never been unattractive. The real problem is much harder to accept, because what many men call kindness isn't kindness at all. It's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of losing someone, fear of not being enough. And without realizing it, they slowly build their entire personality around making other people happy. The Stoics warned against this nearly 2,000 years ago, not because they believed kindness was weakness, but because they believed a man should never surrender his character in exchange for approval. Think about it. How many times have you said yes when every part of you wanted to say no? How many times have you apologized even though you knew you weren't wrong? How many times have you accepted disrespect because you were afraid that standing up for yourself might make someone leave? At first, these decisions seem harmless. You tell yourself, I'm just being understanding. I'm just being patient. I'm just being kind. But little by little, you stop expressing who you really are. You begin editing your personality. You hide opinions. You avoid disagreements. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You agree with things you don't believe. Not because you're honest, but because you're terrified of disappointing someone. And that's where the real problem begins. Because attraction, friendship, respect, they all depend on one thing: authenticity. People cannot truly respect someone who is constantly trying to become whoever they want him to be. Imagine meeting someone who agrees with everything you say, never challenges you, never has boundaries, never says no, never disappoints you. At first, they seem pleasant, but eventually, they become predictable, invisible, forgettable. Not because they're kind, but because they've abandoned everything that made them unique. And this is where most nice guys become trapped. They unknowingly create what psychologists call an invisible contract, a contract that nobody else agreed to. It sounds something like this: if I'm always there for her, she'll choose me. If I solve her problems, she'll appreciate me. If I never upset her, she'll never leave. But life doesn't work like that. Love is not a reward for perfect behavior. Respect is not earned by abandoning yourself. And attraction cannot survive when one person is constantly asking, without words, "Am I enough for you now?" The hardest truth for a nice guy isn't that someone ignored him. It's realizing he slowly ignored himself. Every time you stay silent when something hurts you, you teach people that your feelings can wait. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you lower the price of your own self-respect. And every time you make someone else's happiness more important than your own peace, you quietly tell yourself, my needs matter less. At first, you don't notice it, Because approval feels good. Someone smiles at you. Someone thanks you. Someone says, "You're such a nice person." And for a moment, it feels worth it. But approval is a dangerous thing to build your identity around. Because the moment someone stops giving it to you, you no longer know who you are. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once taught that no person is truly free if they are controlled by things outside their own character. Most people hear that and think about money or success, but very few realize that approval can become a prison. Because once your happiness depends on someone else's opinion, they begin controlling your emotions without even trying. One late reply ruins your day. One canceled plan makes you question your worth. One cold conversation keeps you awake at night, replaying every word. Notice what happened. Nothing in your life actually changed. The only thing that changed was another person's behavior. Yet somehow, your entire emotional world collapsed. That isn't love. That isn't kindness. That's dependence. And dependence has a strange way of disguising itself. It tells you, "I'm just loyal. I'm just patient. I just care more than other people." But deep inside, it whispers something much more dangerous. "If they leave, I'll have nothing." That is the sentence every nice guy must destroy. Because the strongest men are not the ones who never love. They're the ones who never lose themselves while loving someone else. Think back to the person you were before you desperately wanted someone's approval. You had opinions, dreams, curiosity, purpose. You laughed without worrying who was watching. You made decisions because they felt right, not because they might impress someone. Then one day, without realizing it, your life slowly became a performance. Every message was carefully written. Every decision was carefully calculated. Every action quietly asked the same question: will this make them like me? And that is the moment authenticity disappears. Ironically, the more desperately you try to become someone everyone likes, the less memorable you become. Because people don't connect with perfection. They connect with honesty, with conviction, with people who know who they are. A Stoic man does not need everyone to understand him. He does not chase acceptance. He does not argue with people who have already decided not to value him. Instead, he asks himself one question: did I act according to my values? Because if the answer is yes, then the outcome no longer defines him. And that changes everything. Not only in relationships, but in every area of life. Because confidence is not built when everyone applauds you. Confidence is built the moment you stop needing the applause.
Subscribe now.